back to watching their campaign video where you promised them insecurity, and they're like, oh, he's promised us insecurity, look at us now, and on like that. So similarly, when you talk about the tough boys, I've been an hard boys in River State is one of the most notorious states in Nigeria where people believe that they are cultists, very strong-headed, they have militants. So they have like, everybody's a militant, kind of. You know, that mentality of, if they're vexed last song, Nigeria go feel more. Somehow, nothing is, yeah? But I'm like, what happened? Something don't happen to our DNA, I don't know. There's no fighting spirit in people anymore. There's no pushback per se anymore. It's it's all like for those who can make noise and all that, loud and empty. So when you look at the level of degeneration in that contraption, right? You watch how people, right? I'm talking about able-bodied people ordinarily that will ordinarily not just look away. Most of them have become so gentle, they have become so relaxed, they have become so disoriented. I think some of them have become so like, it's like humble to slave. People have just become like, can it be bothered? Kind of. I don't know. It never used to be like that, fortunately. So people have been conquered. So people are now, any small thing now, they say, what about you? If you come and lead me. If you come and, you get like, it's more or less like everybody, people are now waiting for their own black Jesus, kind of. And that is why you see this savior mentality in some of them too, because they can tell, Because I don't understand. People complain about a lot of things, right? But they are not moved beyond that level of kind of like complaints and all that. And they have become so removed, mostly from that reality. And it is now about excuses like, do you want them to kill me? Do you want them to, I don't get my mouth. I don't get, that kind of talk. And yet they are still being hunted down like, so people get away, they get away with a lot. And some of them are very serious stuff, because when you see them become so powerful, right? There's something you have to pay attention to. That doesn't happen overnight. It builds up. Right now, before you know it, this guy, their sole administrator, what do you call it for River State, okay, who has been parading himself like, like it was the people of River State that actually chose him to be their governor. So he's deciding or making decisions on behalf of millions of them. Meanwhile, his loyalty, which he said, is not to Rivers people. It is to Tifnumbu, the man that appointed him. So in the midst of that, you just want to feel sorry for the people of River State. But again, that depends on, from what angle or which angle you are looking at it from, and crisis here and there as well, right? Lamidi Pampas is back. Are you aware? Okay. This is also Supreme Court stuff now, okay? The last time we were debating if the Supreme Court judgment removed Dabure or not, and if Labour Party, you see, there is, there are talks right now about what do you call that, coalition, where opposition are talking to come together in 2027, right? Form one single formidable force to challenge Tifnumbu and rescue you from Kolu. That, you'll be hearing about that, Abi. So those like the Kaduna Little Finger, right? El Rufaya, who moved to SDP, it's been problem in that SDP since then. Some believes that El Rufaya and his co-travelers are coming to hijack their party, right? And others are saying they're just using that in order to have something or a platform that they can use in negotiating for this coalition. Anyway, so much talks going on about which political party are they going to use in challenging Tifnumbu. Start a new political party, run on one of the existing one, or troubleless ones, or you know what I mean. Anyway, Peter Obi on his part came out severally to say he is not leaving Labour Party for any coalition, especially the coalition is all about how to grab power and not to solve the problems of Nigeria and Nigerians. Now that's also part of all the ongoing talks everywhere. So last year, just a little bit roll back, okay, last year, Obi, Oti, Abia governor, and some of their stakeholders came together, right? They said it was the end of Abure's tenure. So they put together a caretaker committee that would then, a caretaker, sort of like an acting committee to be in charge of the affairs of their party before they will organize another kind of like a congress to now choose their party executives, right? Abure didn't take that lightly. In fact, because of that, Abure, as well as Lamidi Apapa, and then Arabambi Diot as well. So they settled their rift. All the dramas about Apampas, since 2023, just disappeared, just died down, because Obi and others have formed caretaker group. So Abure went to court, right, to challenge the caretaker committee put together by Peter Obi, Alex Otti, and others, which they accused of planning to hijack their party from them. Of course, just same way, Apampas, Lamidiot, as well as Arabambi Diot as well, right? They're both accused Obi of planning to hijack their party by siding with Abure when they were on other sides, okay? So like I said last year, because of this move by Obi, Oti and others, Apampas, Arabambi Diot, Abure, some are calling him Judas Abure right now. I still haven't seen any context to that, but again, some people are calling him Judas Abure. Anyway, they settled their rift, which they actually, recognized Abure's chairmanship. So all the noise, all the fights, including the beating of Lamidi Apampas in court a while back, right? All of that just evaporated. So they became friends, since enemy of my enemy is my friend. Anyway, the drama continued. So Abure went to court. He won at the High Court. He won at the Appeal Court until they got to the Supreme Court. And when they got to the Supreme Court ruling, which just happened last week, the Supreme Court said Abure's Congress was wrong and null and void. Also, the First Court, High Court, and the Appeal Court that even listened or entertained the case brought by Abure, right? They have made mockery of justice system or judiciary because they did not have jurisdiction. Whatever happens in the political party should be settled within the political party. And since their decision is, right, to appoint caretaker. Now, here is the problem. The court didn't go that far. It just said the process that Abure, that the Congress that produced him for the second term was null and void. And the two courts that heard this case shouldn't have at all. So in what seemed to be, okay, what does that mean? It means status quo. What does status quo mean to all the camps, right? To the Abure's camp, status quo mean, well, their party decision to conduct Congress that produced him, Abure, right, was their decision. It is none of any court decision. But the funny thing is, they didn't take Abure to court. It was Abure that took them to court. So to the Peter Obi side, and then the Usman, which happened to be the head of the caretaker committee for Labour Party. So then the Usman, right, was the one that Abure took to court. So now that Abure, I mean, to this Peter Obi side, to them, it simply means their decision that prompted Abure to go to court, which was that his exco has been dissolved, and their own executive will now be in charge. Was what the court mean by that kind of judgment. So while they are still trying to figure out who is the chairman, who is not chairman, between Nandi Usman and Abure, Lamidi or Tapampas have shown face. He granted a press release and he declared himself the authentic national chairman of Labour Party in Nigeria in what you can call another chapter of an endless drama, which will also involve media appearances, court appearances, and whatever it is that the Labour Party is trying to really do to make them viable and maybe less rancorous and less, crisis before their 2027 dream is about to hit a grand sort of standstill again. The last time that Lamidi or Tapampas was very, very vocal was during the presidential, what do you call that thing again? Presidential Election Tribunal, so Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, as well as the Supreme Court's, case between Peter Obi, Labour Party, and Tifnumbu. That was when Lamidi or Tapampas was very, very prominent, right? Where every now and then he kept saying that Peter Obi's lawyers during the presidential case, right, or court case, that Peter Obi lawyers must report to him. And in fact, they are planning to withdraw the case against Tifnumbu. The Labour Party doesn't want to do any case again. That Tinubu is winner. So Peter Obi didn't win. It was so dramatic at the time, and at the same time, so embarrassing and disgraceful, right? In fact, there was a time, I don't know if some of you will remember this. In fact, you will remember when I show you, when Lamidi or Tapampas showed up in court during that time. And I'm talking about showing up in court to claim that he is the authentic chairman of Labour Party and they don't want to do any presidential election petition tribunal case against Tifnumbu. I think they beat him up that day. So it was the worst day that the devil collected water to drink. You know? So he is back. That's the point. So the drama is back. And suddenly, like the last time, he's going to begin to get airtime on your TV. Is going to have lawyers, senior advocates of nuisance who are going to begin to represent him. And just like Ali Baba said, in Nigeria, right, the ruling party controls all parties in Nigeria, directly and indirectly. Because controlling them doesn't mean that they are like in total control. For example, inside the PDP, right? APC is funding some member of PDP to keep going to court to insist that they are the national working member, they are member of the National Working Committee of PDP, and their job is to continue to derail it. So similarly, like Ali Baba said, that Obasanjo told him, right? When you look at any potential party that is going to be a threat, and somehow they are having leadership thoughts, even if they didn't have any leadership problem, you can start it by saying, oh, for instance, right, they are having it already. So Apapa, Lamidi, he doesn't have to have money. They will just call him and say, come. So we hear that you are fighting for the chairmanship of your party and they don't want you to have it. Say yes, so they don't want me to. They said because I am this or that. I said, don't worry. Okay. We will give you, for a start, right? We'll give you 100 million naira. Okay. We'll provide you security as well. And then we can talk to some judges for you. As long as you know that you'll be loyal, right? So, I will do anything. We are the same. We are all the same. Okay. If say 100 million naira, yes. And again, with that, you can get some media to make sure that they are publishing your story, okay? And then we'll get good lawyers, all right, that are always going to be there to ensure that you continue litigation. It is not because you want to win anything from the court. Just continue the litigation for as long as possible. So with that, the media will continue to remind you of how divided, how broken, or the party crisis, just as we are doing right now. In fact, that Lamidi Apapa is back. I am guilty of this too. Is kind of like more popular than what really happened at the Labour Party today. Because today was actually the day that all their stakeholders, executives, the national, state, and all of them converged in Abuja to properly implement that judgment of the Supreme Court. Obi, Oti, Dati, and many others like that were there to ratify what they call the NEC meeting of the party, or NWC of the party, to ratify a resolution that will say, here is the copy of the court judgments, which means INEC must stop to recognize Abure as their party chairman, while Nenandi Usman must be recognized as their party